Hey guys, this is Aubrey from Next Week calling. Just wanted to say the show went great today, and I'm hoping to hear this voicemail at the end of the show last week, since this is Aubrey calling from Next Week. So I'm going to get back in my time machine now, and I will see you then. Bye.
All right, everybody, why don't you get on in here? Space is filling up fast. There's only room for so many ears in this audio world of ours.
That's right.
Welcome to the podcast for empathy and imagination. My name is Aubrey.
And I am Drew Clark. I would like to acknowledge you for taking your time out of your day to listen to the podcast for empathy and imagination. I'd like to welcome you to this show. And just like my good friend Aubrey said, its seats are filling up fast. Crack open your beers, light your smokables, and get ready for a wonderful show about podcast for empathy and imagination. Welcome, folks.
Welcome.
Aubrey.
Well done.
Thanks for being here. We are in the new Gradient Studios 2.0 Pinole version. And it's going okay. We got lots of wires.
Yes.
We got 8 computers running all at once right now. That makes it all possible.
Is it 8?
It's 8, yeah. Yeah, 1, 2, 3,
We count iPhones
4,
as
5,
computers.
6, 7, 8. Yeah, we got 8.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's do the... Can we check in? Or
Let's check in.
let's check the frig in.
All right, I'll check in.
Let's do it. I need to hear the ding. Just... Is it possible? So, here in the podcast, we got lots of wires, and we make it happen. For the budget of this show is near zero.
Just got my PhD in wires.
Ooh.
Been studying for years. All right, let me check in. Ah, boy. Well, the economy is booming.
Mhm.
There's a slight downturn.
There was.
Recently. The correction. That's only normal in a period of upward adjustment for there to be some weird zones. So, things are good. Working a lot. Playing a lot of music.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Mostly good. It's ups and downs. I live in the hood, as you know. That can be challenging.
You live
at
near a
times.
homeless enclave, correct?
Yes. You mean highway underpass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are one and the same.
Any highway underpass is a homeless refuge.
Yeah. Man.
That can be challenging at times.
Yeah.
No trick-or-treaters on my street. Got to walk over the opioid addicts.
Are they
heroin
tripping
addicts that do
tweakers?
that.
Did you have tripper tweakers?
No, I think there are tweakers. I don't
Mm.
know what they're on. It's got to be, I know it's sort of a rotating gaggle.
How do they afford it?
I have no fucking clue. Like it's kind of amazing because I have no idea how they fund, one of these guys. They're like sitting in their own piss and shit, eating dirt inside a car that doesn't work. But, one guy's got like an iPhone X.
Oh, my God.
And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Car's got plates, so, it's probably registered.
Mm.
But, yeah, I'm just like, where's this money coming from?
Yeah.
Spend 25 cents and take a shower. I don't know.
At a park or something, yeah.
But it's weird, and once you trying to rationally figure out what's going on in the mind of a junkie is not an exercise that will lead you anywhere fruitful.
I agree.
Because they're not thinking rationally.
Have you noticed it's affecting your mood or feelings?
Yeah, sometimes get home from work at the end of the day and it's just like, piss and shit smell everywhere.
Mm.
Yeah, it's challenging. It's an empathy challenge.
Mm. I hear that.
Because these people aren't. They're not contributing anything to society, and
yeah,
they're mostly like stealing other people's things and reselling them so that they can get their fix.
What do you think the drug is? It like propofol or fentanyl or
might be fentanyl, China. I don't know. I feel like I need the pop filter on this mother. You getting that? We'll leave it off now. I don't know. I saw one guy who was clearly on heroin.
He had one of
these. You can tell,
like
the standing thing. Yeah.
Never fall down.
Sleep, right. Perfect balance. I think David Cross had a skit like balance. The Chinese gymnastics are like, someday. That was David Cross's joke. It's pretty funny. So, yeah, something. I mean, it's either heroin or fentanyl, some kind of opioid.
Man.
And, you see a guy, like, disappear for weeks, and he comes back, and his head's shaved, and he's sort of cleaned up for a little bit.
Huh.
But then...
Like they hit the homeless shelter for a week or something?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a rotating gaggle of these guys. It's mostly guys.
Mostly guys. A few ladies. So you've noticed
that can be challenging.
It's had an effect on your well-being.
That can be challenging,
especially since you're paying such a huge amount of rent to live
That's
there.
Not huge. I mean, my rent's pretty cheap.
Well,
I guess proportionally, it's a lot.
I mean, if I think about when I first started paying rent compared to what it is now, it's more than doubled.
Yeah, I think I am basically at where I was paying rent when I moved here.
Huh. Okay.
And including all the utilities and stuff, I'm probably paying less.
Really?
Now, granted, that was like a nice kind of studio in Berkeley, but now I'm in the in a gated windowed. Actually, that's not true. We don't have gated windows, but we do have a gate around the house. But it's working out. That's working out well because it's you just sack away money, all the money that I'm not shoveling into projects that are musical projects.
Right, which takes a lot.
That can be taxing.
Yeah, what's that like?
Mentally taxing if you're just shoveling money into a project that doesn't feel like it's going anywhere.
Yeah.
But that's just life, right? So, yeah, that's challenging. But other than that, work is good. Music is good. Life is pretty good. I feel like there are a lot of downloads. But
you've been getting some downloads?
Specific downloads.
Well, what's the theme?
Like
what's the theme?
I don't want to say life hacks.
Okay.
But it's just like mindset upgrades.
Okay. I appreciate. No, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Like, the golden age like golden age type thinking where the problem isn't resources. Problem is just how we think about these problems.
Yes, I've said yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's an ongoing challenge. I mean, that's like the rest of your life. Trying to change your mindset and come up with better ways of thinking about things.
Yeah, making the best of what you already have.
Yeah.
So many people have they're paying rent in these spaces and they have rooms in their home they never go into.
And part of the key of just enjoying what you have, part of that is just have less. Right? Because then it becomes easier, just by probability, it becomes easier to enjoy what you have if you don't have that much. And also the idea of...
I say that one more time. It becomes easier to enjoy what you have if you don't have that much.
Right.
Huh. Okay.
I mean, if you're just speaking in terms of material objects. And material objects are kind of a scam. There's a lot of mindset stuff. I was looking at Netflix to watch a movie the other night. I just saw, all these pretty little thumbnails. And I just had this momentary thought, what a waste of time. And I love movies.
Yeah.
I love movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I just had that thought, God damn, what a waste of time, And that's not judgment. It was just I'm starting to think about these things a little differently. Maybe it's like a time gets more precious maybe as you get older. I don't know.
Like watching movies, you feel kind of like, eh. I'd rather make movies.
Like I feel like I need to do something else while I'm watching a movie.
Exercising, making sandwiches, something.
Exercising and watching TNG is like a perfect mix, because then you get you know the duration.
45.
You've sort of seen the episode 100 times before, if you're me, and so that it helps you. You know, you're not like, what's going to happen? You sort of know what's going to happen. You know, and you sort of know it. So it's like it's very easy to coordinate those two things. But yeah, it's almost like material objects are a scam. I mean, if you were to go through, and that's overstating it, but that's sort of the mindset I'm getting into, where it's like, just fucking ruthlessly pare things down. So I was thinking a good exercise would be like, look at something you have, and does it have sentimental value, or is it useful?
Sentimental or useful.
And useful in the sense, like, do you use it often? Like, do you even use this thing? If not, maybe you should get rid of it. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's sort of why I don't have 15 bass guitars. It's kind of like we can only play one at a time. It's nice. It would be nice to have a backup.
I mean, you could play two at a time.
Yeah, you could. But it'd be nice. So it'd be nice to have a backup, you know. But, so it's like that's where my mind is going. Is like a process of minimization, I guess.
Are you feeling you like becoming more of a minimalist?
Yeah. It's like if you're gonna, you want to be frugal, have nice things, but those nice things should be things that you use. Right?
Or at least like they feel good when you see them or something.
Yeah. You know, you don't have to live in like a windowless room, nothing in it, a cot.
Yeah.
But you know, some stuff you have, you're just like, I'm never gonna fucking use this thing.
Yeah.
And some books too. Although, that's like the one thing I collect, sort of.
Books.
It's like, I don't think I'll ever break that habit.
Do you throw away books occasionally?
I donate them to the
library.
Library or out of the closet, thrift store.
Mm. Cool.
I don't loan books though.
Because you don't get them back?
I don't loan books. I just give them. That's the way to do it. Because you don't want to be asking for a book back. That's not. Just give the person the book. And books are hard to recommend too because they're so subjective.
Mm-hmm.
So I hesitate to recommend books, but when I do, I give, and I have the book, I'll just give it to somebody.
Cool.
But I'm the kind of guy who actually takes. If people are like, "Oh, it's a great book, you should read it," I'm the guy. I'm the 1 out of 100 person that will actually go to the library and heed your advice. So,
right on.
If anybody has any book recommendations, they can call us.
Yeah, here, I'll put the number on the screen.
Put the number on the screen there.
510-859-4173. 510-859-4173.
So a lot of mental upgrades, a lot of challenges with living in the hood.
Yeah.
And just like, dealing with the noise and chaos of that.
Does it wake you up, the screaming or bum fights or anything?
No, that's pretty rare.
Okay.
I mean, they're living on the street right in front. They're living in the neighborhood on the street. So they are they are like respectful.
Huh.
Because because their survival sort of depends on that. So they can't just be crazy breaking into cars and stuff, Like I say hi to the guys and stuff, you know what I mean? But yeah, sometimes you hear some pretty dark shit being yelled.
Hey, fuck you.
Yeah, or like a woman screaming just about how she's being mistreated.
Yeah.
Hear gunshots.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Life in Oakland.
Wow. Oakland.
I guess that's my check-in.
Okay, wow, thank you.
Checked in.
Thanks for checking in there, Aubrey. I guess I'll check in now. Yeah, this thing's not, there it is, got a slow build. Yeah, okay, my check-in. I woke up this morning feeling some anxiety.
Okay.
There's a lot going on today. We have a party. I mean, it's going to be starting here. I mean, in a little bit, and there's a lot to get ready, cooking food, making stuff, cleaning things up. That's always fun. We're having like this house warming party, and it's also kind of a baby welcoming party because everyone knows my wife is pregnant. Rebecca's pregnant. It is November 3rd today, and her due date is November 24th. So it's 21 days away.
It could be earlier.
Yeah, it could be today.
Tonight.
Yeah, it could be tonight.
That would be awesome if it was today.
That'd be fun. Giving birth in the bathroom, baby.
You'd have a lot of support if it was today.
That'd be I know. We'd have like, hey, can you get a blanket? Okay, you get some newspapers. All right, you get me a beer. Something like that. I had my check-in all include, like, I was feeling a little sad yesterday, and it feels good because this wound is going away. Where I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted from working. Like, body is broken down. I'm tired as fuck, and I'd really like to have some cannabis or weed, but I'm just out of money at the same time of being super exhausted from work. So we've had a radical shift in our financial lives where every single penny is accounted for, and we're saving for everything and budgeting for this, and so it just means a tighter ship, and it just means I go without. I just go without sometimes.
It's good. There are probably things that you could go without that you haven't even considered. Like that's sort of where
there probably are.
Yeah.
Something like we thought about was like the phone plan and stuff, but we use it for this, and I film stuff, so it's like a little harder. And then it's like, okay, Pandora, do you really need to pay the $5? But I'm like, if I was listening to commercials 40 times a day, I might go crazy.
Right.
I think that's worth like 4 cents a day. You know what I mean? It's
I would say spare no expense on mental health.
Yeah. So the commercials beating into my skull while I'm working on pools, I'm not okay with.
No.
So I'll pay the $5 for Pandora because Pandora rocks as a radio station more than other apps. And here's my Pandora plug. You can select multiple stations and have it all play a random radio between them.
Right.
And no other app does that. Because I've got my Beatles, technical death metal, and hardcore rap all mixed together. And I can't do that on Spotify. Or SoundCloud.
I see. So you can randomize the stations.
Yes.
Yeah,
I can randomize the stations to play different stuff. So I really appreciate that about Pandora. They just sold, for I think $1 billion.
I have a friend who works there.
Wow. So yeah, a little bit of that, but I know that my fears and pains about like, oh, I'm working hard and I'm super broke. I know everyone's feeling that.
Yeah.
And
you're in California.
I'm also saving to go to Burning Man. So I actually have cash I'm looking at, but I'm like, I want to go to Burning Man with that cash.
Right.
So I want to buy weed with that. I'm like, ugh. So it's like I'm learning. A little bit of learning lesson going on. And there's a little bit of a lump.
Personal finance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personal finance improvement. So
something I would have completely laughed about. I never would have thought that I would be interested in investing in personal finance and all that garbage in my 20s. But now it's like, I'm sort of getting obsessed with it a little bit. For the Burning Man thing, it's like, you just put that money into a savings account, and by the time Burning Man comes around, you'll earn a few extra dollars on the interest.
Mm-hmm. You're like becoming a money market manager, like just from investigation.
I could start like a what do they call it, investment firm.
Mm-hmm.
Probably be cryptocurrencies though. Like if you don't know anything about cryptocurrencies, just give me your money, I'll put it in, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, go ahead.
That's exciting. So see, that feeling's going good. I feel excited about my daughter starting to breathe air soon. I'm nervous about the crying and the diapers and the sleep and all that stuff. I know it'll work out, though, and I know all that hard part's temporary. I know we'll have support from our community.
Yeah, it's temporary. It only lasts like 18 years. The crying.
Mm-hmm. I sort of, based on what I'm looking at, I think I'm going to be paying for my daughter's life, like money-wise, until she's 40. Something like that.
Huh.
Because, we just took another small loan from my parents to pay off huge debt so that we can save the interest payments but then pay them back with a lump sum in the first part of the next year, because if we extract from the retirement account now, it puts us in this income bracket that affects our medical cover. It's just like it's all super connected.
It's all related.
You got to be really careful.
It's all related. Yeah.
But I'm privileged to have a mom who's willing to go, okay, well, let's clear these down, throw the cards away, like cut them up completely.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the beginning of next year, you can withdraw from this and then pay me back. And she doesn't lose any money. I don't lose any money. She's just like holding some debt for me for a little while. But that's a privilege thing.
That's a privilege thing.
Yeah. Hello,
Yeah.
we have a visitor here. Hello, darling.
Hi.
Why don't you come take my seat? Come here. Yeah, it's perfect because we're just talking about my update and stuff. So here, just sit here and do this.
But I want you to listen to it.
Oh, I can listen.
Oh,
Hello.
hi.
So, Rebecca's here.
First I want to say that I comfortably describe myself as a feminist. I have no problem with describing myself as a feminist. I also feel like the conversation around the Me Too movement and sexual harassment requires more nuance from women than it's currently getting. And this is why.
I would agree.
So, man hits on woman in a way woman finds offensive. Man says, well, dressed like that, what do you expect? And the woman says, how dare you? I should be able to wear what I want, when I want, da-da-da-da-da. It's become a trope at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's a lot of discussion in this back and forth about gender and attraction and sexuality and when it's appropriate, when it's not, and when you should know implicitly what's appropriate and when you should know implicitly what's absolutely unacceptable. Any sort of assault being more on the very obvious side of inappropriate, not acceptable. But I feel like there's a lot of dialogue with men around what's problematic about the situation for them, how it's confusing, about how it's not always a clear situation, that there's this dynamic of like, I want it, I don't want it, yes means no and no means yes, and how to navigate that terrain. And I don't feel like at least I'm aware of a lot of women talking about where it gets tricky for them. Like, I am willing to admit that there's a darker side of sexuality that I find appealing. Like, there have been times when someone coming up to me and being aggressive to me has, at least in theory, been an appealing thought. And there's been times when it's happened and it's been a turn on. There's been times that it's happened and it hasn't, depending on so many different subtle factors based on who they are and what the context is and how they did it. I feel like there's a lot of women who, myself included, I'll speak for myself. There was a lot of instances in my youth where I would throw myself at people because I didn't feel very good about myself, and I would get into sexual situations that I didn't actually want, but the excitement of having somebody pursue me was a turn on at first, and then when it got to the point where they were like, I'm clearly under the impression you want to have sex with me, which was a fair impression to be under, I would go, wait, I just liked the attention, I didn't actually want to have sex with you, but I didn't feel like I could say that, so I would go through with it, and regret it afterward. And that I feel like there's a lot of women who got caught up in that dynamic, and I wish that there was more of an expression of how things get complicated for women, in the same way that I feel like there's men who are willing to talk about how it's complicated for them. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I agree. It's not. It is complicated, and there's a dance to it, and there has been for these millions of years.
Right, and to not acknowledge that
Right.
is unfair, I feel like.
When I think of human behavior, I always think of we're still basically in the cave. Despite our skyscrapers and iPads, iPods, and iPhones, our mental state and our instincts are still basically caveman-like, cavewoman-like. And no amount of, sort of political correctness is going to just change that in a generation,
Right.
So...
And I
appreciate your feelings on that.
Yeah. Do I think that a woman walking around dressed in an explicitly sexual way automatically means that any man who looks at her deserves the right to have a go at her, and if she refuses, that she deserves to be ostracized? I absolutely don't think that. But
you feel good when you're dressed up. I mean, man, or what? It's just like a confidence booster.
And I don't know about other people, but I know for me, times that I've gone out and I've dressed in an explicitly sexual way, it's because I'm hoping to get hit on and hoping to find somebody to have sex with. That's the hope.
Yeah, sure. If I wear a tie and a suit, I'm just going to a friend's party. It's not because I expect to be hit on, because that doesn't happen that often. But it's more a confidence booster. I just feel, more confident.
The other thing I wanted to acknowledge, it's something I've been thinking about off and on. It's kind of inside this conversation. It was around Louis C.K. And when all of that first came out about him, I remember reading in some article, it was listing the different things he had done and things he had said. And there was one reference to, like, apparently, I don't remember the exact details, but he was at some comedy club, and I feel like he came up to a woman in the audience, like came up behind her and like whispered something behind her in kind of a creepy way, something about like sucking his dick. And the reason it struck me is because there have definitely been times in my life, and I don't necessarily think this comes from, at least for me, it's come from a really great place inside of me. But there's been times in my life where if I was that woman sitting in that audience, that would have been really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And-
mean, that's a hard thing to talk about.
And
especially as a man to even talk about
And
it.
I feel like that's a piece that I feel like is missing. That men are willing to say, well, but it's complicated, and what am I supposed to do? Because there's this, but there's I feel, and then there's the boobs, and I don't see a lot of women saying, well, yeah, because it's like, I want to have sex, but I don't want it with you, and it's
Is it because he's famous? Like his fame is attractive, inherently attractive?
I don't even think it would have to necessarily be him. Just
in general.
In general, someone coming up behind me and doing something like that, which most people, I feel like most feminists would be like, that's awful.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's many situations. And I think there's lots of people for whom that's a genuine turn on, and it comes from a great place inside of them, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
For me, it comes from kind of a darker side of my sexuality that hasn't always been really great. Is Jennifer here? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's hard to even talk about that as a guy. Because then you get into the like, oh, if it's his fame that's inherently a turn on, which is not what you're saying. But if one were to say that, then you could sort of see why Trump said what he said. You can just grab him by the thing. Now, I'm not defending that. That was an awful thing to say. But it's kind of like if you're popular, you have a higher success rate with women. I don't think that's in dispute.
Right.
And your fame is an aphrodisiac.
Or is it a literal turn on? That's an open question.
Right.
Is it a high motivation factor? Obviously.
Or is it behavioral evolution, right? Oh, this guy is alpha. He kicks ass. Clearly, he's successful. That means that my children will be prosperous and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think people are consciously thinking of it that way, but I do think that is a thing that people. I won't say they consider it because they're not considering it, but it is a factor. I mean, evolutionary biologists will tell you that in a second.
I wish the conversation, the national conversation, was more complete and filled out.
Totally.
And willing to acknowledge that
there's more than one variable.
And human sexuality is complicated in a variety of different ways for both men and women.
Yeah.
And everything in between. And a lot of it is affected by the gender norms that we've played out for years and years and years. And
yeah.
It's more than just, well, men just need to get it together.
Men are pigs and
right.
Yeah. Like there was a female Spider-Man cover. It was done by this award-winning Italian artist, you know. And people were complaining. This was a few years ago. People were complaining, oh, like, you know, she's all sexualized and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, like,
I gotta get my pumpkin muffins.
I was like, what's wrong with sex? You know, like.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Rebecca's checked in.
Wow. So her check-in counts as my check-in too.
Cool. Oh, I think it was just our headphones. I think everyone heard all that. It's just we couldn't hear ourselves.
Yeah, cool. Also,
we're back.
Yeah, our third camera took a shit.
What was that?
It started to upload, update right now.
Oh, good. Thank you, Apple.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim Cook.
Keep going. I got you.
Cool. That was a very intense check-in. I could tell that Rebecca took some courage for Rebecca to say that.
Yeah.
She was very beet red.
Might have been from cooking, too.
Might have been from cooking.
Yeah.
Let's not jump to conclusions here. But I appreciate that because I appreciate all viewpoints.
Hell yeah.
That's what it's all about. Free speech, baby.
I appreciate her saying that, too, because and this is something she doesn't agree with. We're back. I've been saying this. Aubrey, what do you think about this? I know this isn't a solve all, but it's a step. I'm trying to appropriate a step. And a step is, I think it would be cool if there were a baseline move men could make to any woman at any time that she could have a response, positive or negative, to, and the man would understand instantly, like, oh, continue pursuing, like maybe, or no, just try someone else. Like,
I think
moving.
that already exists.
What is it?
Hi. Hi, my name. Hi, my name is Aubrey. What's your name? I mean, I like. It's a good start. I think it's been overthought. I think the whole thing has been overthought and overwrought, and infiltrated way too much with PC nonsense.
Yeah.
Men and women have been doing this dance and playing the courting game for thousands of years, and it's just been, it's been so super saturated with nonsense and garbage. I mean, you think about the whole pickup artist thing, so gross.
That's gross. It seems
it's-
deceitful.
It's so gross, but it's also it may have actually, there's some crossover, there's some overlap with actual evolutionary psychology, right? The whole peacocking idea and stuff like that. There's some validity to some of it, but it on the whole, pickup artistry is pretty lame. I mean,
I think a lot
even
of the,
even though that's what men have been doing the whole time.
but some of the
Right.
public TV pickup artists are going for a low self-esteem woman. Like that's their
Right.
target.
Right.
Because somebody with low self-esteem, if you like slightly insult them and then act like you don't care,
Yeah,
they'll be
that's like
like
borderline
"Well,
psychopath."
What about? But
That's like sociopathic.
but that's a lot of the modern pickup
Sure.
artists. They
Yeah,
just
yeah.
go, "Oh yeah, you're whatever."
I disavow all pickup artistry, by the way.
I don't. All right. Cool.
But it's such a thorny subject. I mean, it's like a mosquito at a nudist colony. You just don't know where to start, right? So we checked in.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I think that counts as my check-in. Let's maybe move on to some topics. We also have a Sounds Good today. We have our party coming. I mean, guests are going to be arriving here soonish. But you know what? I'm really, really glad we're here at the podcast for Empathy and Imagination, and I'm grateful to be making excellent content for y'all out there in the interwebs. Aubrey, are you ready for a topic?
Yeah, hit me with a topic.
So this is it has to do with my check-in, and also has to do with not my check-in. But let's see here.
Interesting.
So, the world's largest cannabis dispensary just opened in Las Vegas. We're literally talking about 115,000 square foot facility. This place is a
In Vegas?
yes, because Nevada just went full recreational.
Right.
The world's largest cannabis dispensary opened in Las Vegas, but it's no ordinary dispensary. It's also an entertainment complex where customers could do things like interactive laser graffiti.
Okay.
Opened November 1st, 2 days ago. It's called Planet 13. It's the largest cannabis dispensary in the world, according to company, at 115,000 square feet. The 24-hour dispensary, which accounts 2,300 square feet of the space, will sell Planet 13 branded medical and recreational cannabis, capsule vapes, and more.
Nevada's doing some great things.
They are.
Don't they have like a super kick-ass educational system too?
I heard a little bit about that. We may have to check on that, but
Yeah.
I have heard that. They're also
heard that
the major
they're-
Tesla facilities there too. I mean,
Right.
like they're doing
Right.
cool stuff. Nevada has a lot of space.
It's one of
beyond-
those states that you sort of forget about,
Mhm.
unless you're thinking of Vegas,
or Burning Man.
Burning Man, or Vegas,
Or Reno.
Oh, it's just parties.
It's not. It's a lot of
It's
parties.
just partying and gambling.
Beyond selling marijuana products, the attached distillery offers interactive and visual experiences for visitors like synchronized 3D projections on the lobby walls and walkways lit with sensory-activated LED lights, so a trail of color lights follow guests as they walk. At the entrance of Planet 13, there are 13 15-foot LED lotus flowers that can be controlled by visitors as interactive art pieces, according to a press release. Guests can also do laser graffiti by drawing with spray cans that shoot laser beams on a wall. That sounds like fun.
I'm thinking road trip.
Yeah, I'm down, dude.
I'm thinking let's do a next podcast
Over in
there.
Vegas, let's do it.
It's not that far. 4 or 5 hours.
Currently, 40,000 square feet of the space are being used, and there are plans for a coffee shop, tasting room for marijuana-infused beer
So it's I've heard of that.
and wine.
It's like a mall
Mall
of weed.
It's a full mall of weed. 115,000 square feet.
It's all one building, or is
Yes.
it? God damn.
They're only using 40,000 square feet right now.
Oh, only?
Currently, 40,000 square feet of the space is being
insane.
used, and there are plans for a coffee shop, tasting room, marijuana-infused beer and wine, lounge for consuming marijuana on site,
Yeah.
if that is legalized. And Space for Food CEO Bob Groesbeck, weird name, said in a press statement. The
It's a sign of the simulation when you have like weird names that
Groesbeck.
correspond to the industries that they're in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like what?
There's so many.
Oh my God! What's the
Like Joseph Weed.
Joseph Auto Mechanic?
Yeah.
What's the embezzler? Like the guy's name was Embezzler, and he embezzled
Madoff.
Madoff. That's
made
it.
off
Yeah,
with
Bernie
everyone's
Madoff.
money. Yep.
Yeah.
Al Pacino was a victim of that. That's why he was doing really shitty movies for a while.
He got into real estate too. You know, he bought an island, and he's like
Pacino?
Yeah, and he's setting up with condos. Weird side fact: in Hollywood, the most paid actor in Hollywood this year was not from movies; it was from selling his tequila company, George Clooney.
I was going to say
It was like
Clooney or Chris Pratt. was gonna be my guess.
$400 million. He sold his tequila company.
He's got mega persuasion. I think if he
does.
ran for president, he might win.
He would do well. I don't know.
I
if
don't
he'd
think
win.
he would beat. I don't think he would beat Trump. But if he ran and he
Clooney?
wasn't going against Trump, I think he would win.
Decent chance.
Decent chance.
The store expects 2,000 people to visit every day. New Cannabis Marketplace claimed that the largest cannabis dispensary in the world, when it opened in Las Vegas 2017, the dispensary is inside a 16,000 square foot building.
What's the company that? What's the cannabis company?
New Woo Cannabis Marketplace. Is that what it is? Excuse me, Planet 13.
But I mean, who's the Is it a cannabis company
They
that's
They grow there. They're growing and selling.
Planet 13 is the brand of
Yeah.
weed. Because Canada just
They went
beginning
full.
of October.
Yeah, just like beer.
They went they went medical
Well, they went recreational too.
in some parts. Yeah,
Canada, I think nationwide they went weed okay.
and the Corona
Oh,
beer. You
yeah.
know,
Mhm.
they invested like a couple billion in one of those companies.
Yes,
and they're starting to do cannabis infused beer.
absolutely. They were one of
Now-
the first. Corona is.
Let me rewind and remind you of one of my predictions was that eventually at the supermarket you'll have organic apples, regular apples, and then you'll have THC apples. That's only a matter of time. And we're almost there because we're having THC infused beer, and it's like you don't know if you're coming or going when you're having that stuff. You know? You got the upper and the downer. I guess they're both downers. But yeah, fuck it, man. I mean,
So, Nevada collected more than $69.8 million in marijuana tax revenue during the first year of recreational sales after it legalized the drug in 2017. Yeah, so that is exciting and cool. A little scary. Like, I mean, it's like it's the megaplex, and it's now where all the weed heads are going to go in Vegas. Like, road trip. Let's go to Vegas. You know.
it is a little scary.
But okay, so what do you think the impact is going to be of this type of facility? And do you have a beer over there?
Yes.
Thanks. I think it's going to be generally good. I think a few people, will overdo it.
Sure.
And they'll get sick and they'll throw up. And one or two people are going to be picked up by ambulances because they're afraid, but they're not actually in danger. The trouble will be when the boozos get dabbing. If you're mega
Yeah.
trashed and then you dab, you're puking.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's like you have a nice buzz on, and then you have some weed, and it's like, okay, that's like the perfect little dessert.
I find they go excellent together,
So-
but both in moderation.
Yeah, but I think.
Uh-oh, we got a treat coming here. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Whoa.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah, here, I'll get that. Yeah, there it is. Look at that.
Thank you.
What do we got here? Pumpkin walnut muffins
Muffins
with
with
cheddar.
cheddar.
That's freaking nice.
I thought it was butter.
I thought it was too.
I think probably won't be things like this. It's like you're always sort of worried about someone's going to get killed, and then the whole thing gets shut down.
But it's weed.
But it's weed, right? So I think it's like probably safer because you can't. It's hard to just totally fucking OD on weed. beer. You just end up puking.
I mean, no one's died. There was the story about the guy in Seattle that maybe died from cannabis. That turned out not to be true. No one has died from marijuana.
There has been no death. There have been
Zero
no
deaths from only marijuana. If you have cocaine and marijuana, you could still die.
Sure.
Which is my theory. As long as I'm smoking weed, I'm never going to die.
There you go. That's a very anti-fragile way to look at it.
Okay, I think it's going to be good. I obviously want to go there. I'm also really excited. I haven't been to Boulder since it was legal over there, and they have great beer. Oh, great beer. And they're going to mix the beer and the weed over there, and they're going to have, like, all kinds of stuff.
Boulder.
Colorado. One of your homesakes.
Yeah. What was the...
Well, just they've got all the great legal weed now. They're making millions. They gave money back to the people of Colorado because they made too much in taxes.
I hope it just continues.
Me too. I hope that Budweiser and Philip Morris are scared because they realize they're about to lose hefty market share.
You know, when the big titans of industry are scared, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them are scared.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You got the small vaping companies.
Yeah, I think we're back and we're going here. Let's see. That might have... Yeah, that's okay. It fried it. No big deal. We're coming back right now. Go on. Go on.
So I think it's good. I think...
Hey, it totally
I
zoomed
lost
in.
my train of thought, but it was good. I think it's good. There's
Okay, so we're calling it good.
disruption in that industry.
We're calling it frickin' great.
Industry.
No, I got your photo though. Here we
Cool.
go.
If you can pull that up,
I'm pulling it up right now. As soon as we had a little reboot there. No worries. Everything's fine. Check it. Here's your. Go ahead. Talk about it.
This is a new phone from Final Corp, one of Final Corp's subsidiaries called Ultra Brittle Objects.
Ooh.
This is their best new phone. Now, up top there, you can see we have a waterproof
case. Yes, yeah.
quote unquote waterproof case.
Mm-hmm.
That's open to interpretation. In the front there, at the top, you see there's a hole.
Is it hide or hole?
That's just a hole.
Oh, just a hole.
It's just a manufacturing mistake. Next to that, on the right, you have a flashlight, which has a very tiny candle inside.
Oh, literally a candle.
Yeah, there's a little tiny little candle that you have to light manually each time you want to use the flashlight.
Okay.
We have volume up, and then we have volume up plus, which makes the volume go up twice as fast.
So there's no volume down.
There's no volume down.
No.
We have a screen protector resistant surface on the front.
I see that. Mm-hmm. Chalkboard?
And the front is actually just a chalkboard. The chalk is not included. It was supposed to be, but that was another manufacturing mistake. And then below that, you have a button that, frankly, we don't know what that does.
We don't. No serious guess, really.
Yeah. So then, of course, down the bottom, you have an etched circle. That's not a button. That's just an etched circle. And then a 1/16 millimeter mono earplug down the bottom, so you can listen to all your favorite tunes. And next to that, we have more holes. These are supposed to be speakers, but they're just holes.
Yeah. They didn't work out.
And then on the left there, the side of the phone, 3.5-inch diskette drive.
Oh.
So if you have some old WordPerfect
is
documents
that is
or
on the left there?
Lotus
Holy
Notes,
shit!
if you have some Lotus Notes files that you want to access,
almost a megabyte, right?
Yeah, that's right. I think it was 4 megabytes.
4 megs. Yeah.
And you just pop that baby in there. Of course, you can't see anything because the front is just a chalkboard, but it's capable of reading 3.5-inch diskettes, so you can get rid of all your 5-inch floppies and welcome to the modern age.
Streamline. 3.5-inch diskettes.
3.5-inch diskettes. So that's the best new phone, and in the entire phone is actually a rectal thermometer.
Oh,
So you could jam it up into the Mihu and get some readings. And that's brought to us by Ultra Brittle Objects, which is a subsidiary of Final Corp. So
wow!
Thank you, Final Corp.
Okay, thank you. I
That was
appreciate
their
that.
little ad.
I appreciate
and,
that. Yeah.
So thank you for the support.
Excellent, excellent.
Cannabis malls.
Yeah,
What do
150.
What happened?
Oh, we got a tickle. Is that
Something
me?
happened.
We're good. We're flying.
All right, we're good. So, I don't know what's going on. Technical difficulties here. Cannabis Mall in Vegas.
Yeah, they're gonna be here too. They're gonna put one in the Bay Area. They're gonna.
It'd be so expensive.
Yeah, but you know you'd like to invest in that. I want to invest in that for something like 7 years and then pull out because there's going to be a huge wave. Because it's recreationally legal in California now, but almost not really. Because there's all these restrictions. Like, if you buy a surfboard, you can kill yourself, you can kill other people, you can injure wildlife, you can damage preserves, and, I mean, surfboards are a serious danger to everyone who touches them. They're sold like apples. Like anyone can make one, buy one, doesn't matter.
Right. It's just kind of
Cannabis never killed anyone. Never killed anyone, but it's highly, highly regulated. So I want to. I wish cannabis was like surfboards. Like you could just like tomatoes. Like it didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't
Once upon a time, it was right?
matter. Yeah. Well, it was medicine. Everyone
And
had
there
to
was
grow
reefer
it.
madness. That whole thing was like, oh, the what was the concern there? The
Opium companies
migrants
would lose money.
coming
I think.
in would just be lazy if we.
I think the
legalized
concern was
marijuana.
that opiate companies would lose money. I think that was their concern. Why they made reefer madness. That's my guess.
in the
40s.
40s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Opioids are the real killer.
Dude. And the real gateway drug, sorry, it's fucking beer. This is the real gateway drug. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not Lagunitas. And by the way,
You know.
Lagunitas 12th of Never Ale. That's what we're enjoying today. It's very delicious. And you know what? It's Oh, there it is. Yeah. Super cool zoom in. It's a very good beer. It's the beer we had at my wedding. I'm very gracious when Aubrey brings it over. And brought to you by Lagunitas. Thanks, Lagunitas.
It's
Yeah.
true. It is a gateway to a lot of things.
Because if you're drunk, you'll
Cigarettes.
do other stuff. You'll smoke a cig. You'll snort a little ketamine. You'll try coke. I mean, really, booze is the gateway drug. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So freaking Planet 13.
It's almost like coffee is kind of a gateway drug too.
Tell me more.
I don't know. It was almost like coffee was the gateway to cigarettes. Once upon a time.
Really?
Maybe that's just anecdotal, but yeah, beer. I mean, you know, alcohol is basically a poison.
Yeah. So's caffeine.
Yeah, but you know, so be it. Planet 13. That's the name of the complex and the company.
I believe so.
That's
I believe
pretty
so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I can hear the neighbor. You guys can't hear it right now, but we have a neighbor who just knocked on the door trying to say hey. I can hear my lady going, "Oh, they're podcasting right now." These walls are pretty thin.
Oh, is
Hey, I heard.
Is it too loud?
What's he open for? Oh, good. We don't have any jars. Does he want to be on live internet?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
No, that would be too hard.
You can go meet him. I'll play something.
All right. Well, folks, I'm going to take another meeting, and we're obviously going to do a little Sounds Good for you.
Okay. Thanks for bearing with me here. I'm just going to play some things. Do. Okay. So, let's see here. Okay. How about this? Might be loud. There we go. This is my band Orville. And this song is called Sunday Shoes. We just recorded Light Rail Studios in San Francisco. And here we go.
We promise not to stay all night. Oh, how that's never true. We plagiarize wet nightmares, tripping on my Sunday shoes. Be strong enough to be fragile and always remember what would Jesus do. Tower, certain songs can get you by. When the door rings, shaking my head, wanna question the things they said. Oh, always growing up, to keep on throwing up, and always remember what would Jesus chasing rainbows, burning flags, kissing babies, killing fags. Put your hands up and hold your tongue. Keep your pants up, hide your gun. Not to stay all night. Oh, how that's never true. Ooh. We plagiarize wet nightmares, dripping onto my Sunday shoes, and always growing up. I keep on growing up, and always remember what would Jesus did. Double rainbows complete. Hide your flags, kissing babies.
complete.
Ow!
All right, there we have it.
Orville. 2018. We got
Sunday
Orville
Shoes.
coming in hot.
That one was actually the older mix. Didn't have the backing vocals, so I tried to
You did them.
do them.
Well, thanks for that, Aubrey. Thanks for filling in. I mean, we're very popular today. We got lots of guests. Oh, here we have a... Yeah.
BRB. Gonna pee.
Okay, cool. Well, I have a sounds good, but I want you to hear it. So I'm going to do is say, hey, folks, you know, Final Corp is an important sponsor for our show. And, you know, we don't normally interrupt our shows for Final Corp ads. I mean, we do, but we don't normally. And it's an important process to consider that Final Corp is, in fact, the mother of other corporations. And that it's the final corporation you're ever going to need. So let me just say that if you are going to be engaging with Final Corp, then you need to know that some of the best products in the world are coming your way. Like, of course, the Mister. The Mister is a small plastic tip that you clamp on, for men, you clamp onto the tip of your... And what it does is it turns your urine stream into a fun and delightful mist. Now, just think of it. Like, you know, to get it on, you take, like, the bottle capper, and you just get it right down close to your manhood, and you just get it, and you get it on there real tight. And it's like, it's just a little sting, and then it's around the head, and then every time you pee, you can spray a delightful mist. Think about it. Golf courses. Music festivals, churches, skate parks, and windmills. All of those are totally acceptable for using the Mister. Now, there is a little bit of pain associated with applying the Mister, but you have to know that aren't you tired of a boring old stream? Aren't you ready to mist? Mister. Another Final Corp product that we'd like to share with you, of course you're familiar with, is I'm Done Too. Menopause. Now, when your wife gets old enough, she enters menopause and gets to sort of slow down the whole egg factory thing and less about sexuality, more about grandmotherhood. Well, now men, you can be done too with menopause. Menopause is a pill you take daily that in just 3 short weeks, you can have your balls and penis just fall off in one fell swoop, and they slap like a little water balloon on the ground, and you're done. You can be done too with menopause.
I'm done too.
I'm done too.
Hashtag I'm done too.
Yeah. I think that camera just took a shit. Oh no, we're good. All right, we got another sounds good.
Yeah, hit me with your sounds
let's hit
good.
you with the sounds good. This is what you think it is.
Let me ride the fader here.
Ready?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to find a place to live in the Bay Area when you make 1.1 times the average rent? It's very difficult. I get right on Craigslist, but nothing phases. Foodless and shit like on printing pages. It's ageist and racist, but has all the places. 20 rabbits, 6 chickens, 2 dogs, and a snake. Moving a farm's a hipster mistake. Good news, my family is growing. My wife is late. Washer dryer, parking yard, cannot hesitate. Don't be late. Credit score hate. Credit score hate.
Why don't you make more money than your parents did by now? Why do you need to loan money from your parents right now?
I hear anywhere, but the Bay is basically free. As soon as you leave, you don't need money. Rent pays itself away from the city. Food, weather, and friends are actually shitty. Maybe I'll leave the state. I could be a coal miner, a trucker bait. An inconspicuous life lives lying in wait. Too afraid to invest in not just good, but great. Great. Good, but great. Credit score, hey. Yo.
all in my mind.
I don't got a verse.
Unaware.
Lines. Fine, he's not aware. You gotta give him time to come up with the verse. The rabbit, it's your underwear.
Like that change up.
There it is. That's the song.
It's hard questions. Short answer is the baby boomers fucked it up for the rest of us.
Yeah, that's the short answer. You goddamn baby boomers. All right, man.
All the money they fucked us out of, you're now borrowing from them.
Yeah.
So I guess it works out.
I guess they don't get to keep it all, do they?
No.
Cool. Freaking
Nice. I like that one.
Thank you. Yeah, there's actually room,
good.
Aubrey. That song isn't fully done. There's room for you to throw a verse on it, actually, if you're willing.
I could throw a verse on that,
You may
bitch.
obviously give you a couple weeks or whatever you wanted, you know.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have our final topic. Unless
Okay.
you've got... Do you have something you want to kick?
No, hit me with your final topic.
So, this is something we've talked about, and in fact, I even spoke to investors about my idea about this. But now, I'm going to pull it up on the screen here. Let's just go fully with it. With its turd-burning toilet, this tiny house is for septic skeptics. So,
clever.
it's a clever name for something very simple. Of course, folks are seeing it on the screen at home. They've got this beautiful, like, shipping container-sized tiny house. And what they did is they put an incineration toilet in it. And, of course, Aubrey, who was talking about incineration toilets a while ago?
You were.
Yeah, I was.
So this is like a mass-produced tiny house?
We read a lot about tiny houses, and deservedly so, because so many of them are pretty cool. And our latest entry in the True Studio designed by Oregon-based Modern Dwellings that offers a modern, versatile residence with, among other things, a voice-controlled smart home system, heated floors, and an incinerating toilet.
Yeah, the smartphone stuff, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Heated floors, like, who cares?
But this place nukes your poop. Like, you take
That
a
I
dump
like.
and it nukes it. So this newly available tiny house created out of a shipping container offering a solid, sleek, and sustainable residence that's perfect for singles or couples who want to create an additional place to live on their property or generate rental income in their backyard. Modern Dwelling says their product is ideal as vacation rental, studio space, living space, full-time home, blah, blah, blah. It's good looking. It's really fucking small. The
That's
thing
fine.
is...
people should be outside anyway.
Yeah, you should
Mostly.
You go in there to sleep or cook.
Especially in
Otherwise,
California. You just have to be outside.
or to podcast, you could maybe be inside. But like, fuck it, just go outside to podcast. So the thing that's crazy is like, okay, now incineration toilets are picking up a little bit of speed, and I've been saying that turning your shit into ash using electric energy is going to be an important thing because ash is inert.
Right.
Enter the incinerating toilet. It completely burns human waste into a pile of ash.
Huh.
Yeah. So this tiny home we're talking about here is, I mean, I'm just mentioning it. Of course, everyone knows my brother is a tiny home builder, and he could put one of these in any tiny home you wanted. But I'm basically wanting to bring up that there are certain aspects of the world that are picking up that incineration toilets are a seriously cool thing.
Yeah, it just nukes your poop.
Yeah.
End up with ash. You could probably like brush your teeth with that ash and whiten your teeth. You know, there's probably some use for the ash.
Oh, wow.
Like the ash itself probably has some use.
Your garden, it can go in your garden and
It's fully inert.
add nutrients. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brushing your teeth with
Pretty
the
good.
ash, that's
Maybe
fucking
not.
next fucking level.
Yeah.
Well,
the
that's
whole-
like a Final Court product.
The whole tiny house thing. It seems like it's going. This is like a golden age thought. It seems like it's going the way of people are going to wake up and realize, oh yeah, like houses are a total scam.
Total.
Fuck.
Mhm.
The new paradigm is like a smart city, right? Every car's, if there are cars, every car is self-driving. Every bus is self-driving. Your taxes pay for bus fare, car insurance, all this shit. Costs come way down. Hopefully tiny houses are just the start of that movement towards, oh yeah, like houses are a total fucking scam.
But do you want to retire in a tiny house?
No.
It's too small. I want a medium house. Give me like 500 square feet.
A medium house.
Yeah.
It could be single. It's just ranch style, one floor, big yard. You know, that's fine. I don't need tons of extra rooms and shit, right?
You're just paying to heat and clean all that shit. But the thing is, tiny houses, I mean, they really, when you buy a tiny house, you're really saying, I don't want anyone to come over.
Right.
The thing is,
no dinner parties.
yeah, no. You can eat outside if the weather's okay. Like tonight we might do that, but like
Barbecues, yeah.
Yeah. But tiny house is really for you to sleep in. Fuck in, you know, with your lady or man or whatever you happen to like, you know.
Right.
Or that, you know, some of the first robot brothels are actually opening in Texas. I mean, that's
It's exciting.
yeah.
It's going to be interesting what happens there with
Houston, the first shops
well,
opening in Houston.
once sex bots, I mean, they're in their infancy.
Ugh.
And that's not
Don't say infancy.
That's not a pedophile show.
Yeah.
You know, they're just starting out. Once they become super realistic, it's going to be interesting what happens.
Well, it's like, will it be cheating? Like, if you're in a marriage, but you like have a quarterly visit to the robot brothel, does that count as cheating?
Is porn cheating?
Well, I don't know if
It would be different. It would be somewhere between porn and having an affair, right?
yeah,
Because you're putting your wee-hoo in
to something else.
something
That's not
that's
your
not
wife.
living. Has
Yeah.
no. It can't. There's no
They
relationship.
can't call you and go like,
Right.
I thought we were going to meet at the pier.
Yeah, it can't text you at every hour of the day and just prattle on for hours while you listen in boredom. So in that sense, it doesn't have. It can't offer everything that a woman can offer.
Oh no.
But and obviously can't get pregnant. But it would be interesting because you could see a time when it could get pregnant, right? If you had like frozen eggs or something,
Mhm.
so you're just having sex with this just piece of silicone or whatever it is, whatever they're made of. It's just interesting. It's interesting to think about what that's going to do
Yeah.
to the division of. I mean, men and women have always been divided, but it's always been like amicable. Like we know that we're different, and isn't that great,
Mm-hmm.
right? Hopefully, it's still that way. It seems to be less and less that way, but once we have sex robots,
Oh,
you
that's
could
happening.
just see men checking out fully. Like, why do I even want to go out and risk trying to talk to a girl
Or
and
risk
and
getting me
shut
too,
down,
you know?
And like, I'll just spend money on drinks and then get my ego shut down. Like, no thanks. I'm just gonna stay home, play video games, and hit my robot.
Well, you could have like the driverless Uber bring over the robotic prostitute, we'll say,
Yeah.
and then she could walk in your house and bang you, then get back, and and there's no.
Oh, that okay. Yeah. So fully like autonomous robot.
For now, the brothels they're opening, they'll need to stay there for maintenance and cleaning.
It could also be just like an appliance. Like you have your washer, your dryer, your sink, your toilet, your sex bot.
We've talked about the like a brass like blowjob machine that goes on the side of your 100-foot yacht. That you can put your wiener in and it just
Right.
you ejaculate. But that's just like a brass. It's just a square brass
Just a
box.
glory hole in the side of the yacht.
Yeah. Hey, get your dick.
Yeah, I
oh
think-
no, that's where dicks go. Go ahead. Yeah, put your dick in there.
Once the tactility and like response gets to a certain threshold, that's not creepy. It's going to be world changing, and I don't know what's going to happen. But
I think tens of thousands of men are going to stick their wieners into the uncanny valley
Yeah,
just fine.
oh, yeah.
Just fine.
the uncanny valley is going to be filled with semen.
Yeah. You're like, ooh, that's kind of weird. Oh well.
Like, guys don't care.
No.
So then it's like, what's the sex robot for women?
A dude with a nice schlong
Yeah.
who listens and smells good. Something.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like it's like a chest. It's like a dildo with a hairy chest.
Not
that,
too
that,
hairy.
That sort of purrs,
Yeah.
and you can like talk to it forever.
I think for ladies, it may need to be way more talky than men, because men just might go like, you don't have to say a word.
Right. So
And-
the sex bot for females would be way more responsive than the sex bot for males
Would
in
need
terms
to
of
be.
emotions
Yeah.
and words.
And just wienering causing women to orgasm is, but honestly, I think men's tongues and fingers do more of the
It's-
orgasming than wieners do.
Yeah, I think that's way more complex for women.
Yeah. So I hope that all genders, and even in between, whether you're a trans, Trixie, whatever, you can get, have access to what you need.
Custom built sex robots.
Well, that'll be expensive. At first, it'll be like, you go to the brothel, there's 10 of them there. You go in a room, there's a robot. She is warm and kind of moves and is obviously hot, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's weird because what would it do to your